Welcome to another episode of Gem Collectors with Shawn. And in the case of this show, it's always, and I am that Shawn, because as many times as I have tried to get the Raven to at least sit next to me to fill in, to add her contribution, well, she won't do it. But I keep trying, and it's not that she's been a total ghost, but most of the time. And by the way, yes, today I have another borrowed pendant, but she actually gifted this one to me a few months ago, and it is, she said, don't you sell it, and of course I wouldn't, but I sure am tempted, only because it is something really cool and really unusual. It is ocean jasper, but in a very unique color, but some beautiful classic orbicular patterns to it. I may take it off later and show you. Okay, so we're gonna try to move as quick as we can. We lost a little bit of time, so in setting up everything just the way it is, and believe me, it is worth it, because the amount and value of equipment that I am blessed truly with, and the talent of the people that shoot this show and edit it, you know, so many people out there that are trying to get recognition or try to get their products onto a platform. The amount of money it would take just to set up what is in front of me would be out of reach for almost every little guy I would know. And if you weren't a little guy, then you don't need to be doing it for a living anyway. So the network, 26 years now, has been constantly trying to improve the technology and the clarity and so many other things. So they're actually putting in all new cameras, going to be shooting in, I think, 4K, if I got it right, also, HD, and 4K. So, wow, yeah. Any faults, inclusions, or otherwise in a mineral or gemstone can't hide underneath that kind of clarity. So I'm just real fortunate, because the number of lights that are on me, the cameras, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed, because you just don't, many people just aren't that fortunate to be able to exhibit their products with that kind of, well, put it this way, I am glad that my knowledge can come close to the equipment being used to discuss that knowledge. If all this was used and all I could come out and say was the most scale of hardness, that would be one thing. But I can come out and tell you the algorithmic difference between different minerals isn't just on the scale of an 8 to 9 or 9 to 10. For an example, on Mohs scale of hardness, ruby and sapphire, hardness of 9, I'm going to give you some information you'll be able to use. Hardness of diamond is 10, right? Well, in the actuality, when you take the Mohs scale and they put it out on this other scale used, it shows that diamond is actually 4 times harder than corundum, ruby and sapphire, Al2O3. So those kind of tidbits of information I find very useful, especially as a lapidary in cutting stones, and the speed of the cut, and so forth, and what choices of polishing agent to use. I'm kind of stuck on diamond. I like diamond a lot. So we're going to bring up a fasting machine here in the conversation, and I had, I was going to answer, and we'll give you some information there on what you're looking for. Okay, so first, let's get to the trivia questions. Then we'll get to, we don't have that many comments. So, and I've got some exciting inventory to get to today for you. So let's get to those. Okay, first we had the questions, which was question number 1. What is the name of the formation in Wyoming, similar to the Santana Sierra formation in Brazil? And that answer would be Green River. You know, a lot of people don't realize that there was actually what they call an inland sea in continental United States. And in other words, there was a giant sea that ranged from Texas all the way up to Montana and, you know, east and west in this huge, huge basin and area. And so, of course, behind what gets left in the sea, well, fish do. And with the geologic volcanic activity, it was easy to get one massive explosion of the many volcanoes that this sea was around, and the just one big ash fall or one flaming mass of lava into a lake environment or big sea environment. What's it going to do? It's going to kill off all the fish at one time. The fish get killed off, and here's the other thing: by the pyroclastic flows of volcanoes, and those are the ones. I was out at Mount St. Helens only 3 years after it erupted, and wow, you know, that was like to someone that loves geology, a kid in a candy store environment to see. And yes, this was my son's mom and I before he was born, and we went out there, and of course she got to see some of my elevated eccentricities and passion when I'm going to the post office and mailing back pumice that I had collected, which is everywhere. And of course the locals thinking you actually are going to spend the money to ship back pumice because it's everywhere. And I still have that pumice. It's that was pretty cool. And I use it for testing things, like see if it floats and other stuff. The inland sea, so when you get one explosion like that in the pyroclastic flows, which is all the hot steaming, everything coming down from and flooding into these lakes, the trees, everything, and what happens, it all gets buried at one time. And so those little fish are killed off. The trees are flooded into the lake, or any other water body that may be nearby. And then, of course, instantly the silt, it covers it up, which does what? It stops oxygen from reaching the items, and it's that oxygen and the little critters that causes things to deteriorate. You cut off that oxygen and you preserve limbs, fish, and what happens after that is fossilization of those items. And so in the Green River Formation, just like a Santana Sierra Formation, you can actually see the different layers of colors between the seasons. So yeah, there's a huge inland sea, so that's why you have these fossil beds stretched out across this area, and including you know, the edges of it, which of course then all animals will come down to the edge to get water of these lakes, and you have a lot of opportunities for petrification, and then finding, of course, some of these massive Cretaceous period dinosaurs. So it's kind of interesting to find out about North America's past geology and United States geology in itself, and the big inland sea that was once there. It explains the Great Plains. All right, so that was question number 1. Question number 2 was, the gemstone kunzite has what needed element for modern batteries in its chemical composition? Easy, because we all hear the name of the batteries. We may not even know what it is, but we hear about lithium ion powered, you know, little batteries to the big ones. Lithium is the element. It's also the element that can so easily catch fire. and that is because of its ability to combine with other elements to form a high temperature reaction, and can wreak havoc when you have a batch of batteries stored in an airplane somewhere or whatnot. So lithium, but lithium is still going to be it. That's still the number one battery you need. Question number 3, lapis lazuli, as it's properly supposed to be pronounced, has been determined to be a sulfur-rich variety of what mineral? And in time, the International Mineralogical Association, the IMA, which is also a naming body organization, along with CIBJO, which is a French organization, they determine what the final name is for something. Because if you read the history of names of some different mineral specimens, oh my goodness, it will have gone through 6 or 7 names, and this is like in the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, and so it was something that needed to be done. But these official naming bodies still recognize the fact that people are going to use what they're used to, so things can be acceptable to be used either way. Spessartite or spessartine, celestite, celestine. So, but for them to be an end name, there does need to be consensus on that. So, lapis lazuli, which is, has been determined to actually be a sulfur-rich variety of what mineral? Aween, one of my favorite minerals to pronounce, named after a great mineralogist, had so much to do in his time period. And so I have some pretty neat Aween, so we got a mineral named after him. I might bring in. I might even offer it for sale. It's so beautiful in its fluorescence and some other cool properties. So, all right, now let's get to the comments and the answers. So first, Harry in Pennsylvania, we were worried about you. So glad that you checked in. Hi, Shawn. I'm writing you just to let you know I am okay. I hope all you guys are good as well. I'm sorry, but I have a mechanical supply question for you. Please respond back in time. Thanks. Do you know anyone with the DC 90-volt motors for the Mark IV? It mounts under the unit. I have rebuilt it 3 times, including brushes, but it really needs replacing. I have a brand new rotary controller for the machine. Please help. Much respect and love to you guys. Harry, love to you back, Harry, from all of us to all of you and your family. So, listen. Not sure exactly how that motor looks or how you might be able to adapt another 90-volt motor if it is of a different setup. But I did find around 10 to 12 different choices of them, and I was going to show you on my phone the names, but you just might as well look it up yourself. From what source? You would most people would want to say Amazon first, but no, the other giant, eBay. Yeah, so if you just go to eBay and you type in your 90-volt DC motor, that's how I got to multiple choices. And of course, for the same thing, there was different prices. I saw some for $80 or $90, which might be what you would want and expect to pay. Those actually looked like the ones that might work, but they were also upwards of $300, $400, $500, depending on how much torque you wanted and how many RPMs. There was some that were also rotary controlled. So I just did a quick little search for you there, and so some different motor choices. You may have to mount them a little bit differently if you can't find the exact kind of shape. So if not that source, then one of my always favorites that I have gotten items from is Dayton Motors. Dayton Motor Company. They have a lot of good choices there. So you might want to check them out because they have some of the just very classic rotary driven motors. So good luck with that. Cindy in Pennsylvania. Hello, Rock family. Wonderful show, Shawn. Got a few nice pieces at the garage rock sale last week. Botroidal goethite from Morocco. Really, Cindy? I wonder where I've seen any of that before. Right, corner here. Let me do this. Right in the corner of my chair, right there. That's one way to point it out, and there happened to be another one. So, but you never know, because if you get it in a garage sale environment, you expect to pay a garage sale price. So maybe, hopefully, you did. Peridot and Matrix from New Mexico. That sounds very interesting. And purple lepidolite mica from Madagascar. Yes, there is that. So I can concur one that does come from Madagascar. There is some really nice material I could get. So very cool. Very cool. Trivia, Green River Formation, Lithium and Halloween, 3 for 3. Enjoy your week. Cindy in Hut, South Central Pennsylvania. It's hot everywhere. Anthony in Massachusetts. Hello all. Was hoping to get the androdites from Japan and Arizona, but not this time. I've got a pretty good collection of the Japanese. Have been working on collecting different locations of androdite to add to collection. I did get the Savorite garnet parcel, however. Oh my. Anthony, I said to myself, of course, you know the connection that we have actually together of Savorite because of that incredible owl pendant you made me with the Savorite eyes and Savorite garnet being my birthstone. I said to myself, okay, if no one buys those Savorites, I wouldn't dream of ever offering it at a lower price. I said, I'm keeping them. I'm not going to sell them. So if I actually regretted it, it was actually a seller's remorse. Because I figured, well, if they were ever going to sell, the way I broke them down into how much they cost each, was ridiculously inexpensive. And I could never replace them for that. So I said, boy, you're just, being unwise. So if anyone was to get something at a price far less than what I should have even sold them for, I'm glad it was amongst the family, and I'm glad then it was someone like you, Anthony, that supports the show for year on year, 6 years now. Yes, we've been doing this show for 6 years. That's amazing, especially for, platform type shows like this. That aren't conventional, like the floor right up above, which is a 24/7 dual studio from one show to the next. Most incredible jewelry and gemstones you've ever seen in your life. You won't find minerals or fossils, or maybe some of the overextended education, but you will see some amazing pieces. So, yeah, I'm just glad to be on the earth sciences end of it. Okay, so let's see. Anthony, on the androdites, we'll see if I can't find another androdite for you. So you're smart to collect the Japanese ones at the price I've been selling for, by the way, because it is can't get any more. There's not going to be any more, and the market on them, especially like the quality I've been selling, whoo-hoo. Yeah, I've got some of those other Stanley Butte ones, so I might be able to fix you up. Miss Barbara in Brooklyn. Hi, Professor Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. Busy with my contractor, so I'm just going to quickly answer the trivia. Green River Formation, lithium and sulfur rich Halloween. Have a great week and be well. Oh, Miss Barbara from Brooklyn. Good job, Barbara, getting them all right. And good luck with your contractor. Miss Elisa in Florida. Hello, Professor Shawn, the lovely Raven, GSN crew, and Rock family. Thank you, Shawn, for the amazing prize. Life has been really challenging lately, and lapis has a lot of meaning to me. Thank you so very much. That's the magic of the show again. The right trivia prize going to the right person at the right time. You know, that's the magic. I will opt out this week. My answer to the trivia week's questions are, number one, I do not know. I love that answer, actually. You know, at least it wasn't a complete non-answer. Question 2, lithium correct. Question 3, incorrect. So on the number 1, I have no doubt, Miss Elisa, that you didn't actually know that. It just slipped your mind. Those little Nightia fish that are in those plates were some of the very first fossil, not mineral, fossil pieces. I remember at 11, 12, when I was getting into all this and was mostly into rocks and minerals, when I saw those little fish plates, that's kind of what got me into the fossil end and intrigued by that part of the earth sciences as well. So I'll never forget that. So I have to honor that because those little Nightia fish played a role into bringing me into a larger scope of what I already love doing. So, all right, that's it. Yep, that's it for the comments. So, you know what? Boy, it really raises everyone's chance of winning. But we all know that the magic happens and the right item goes to the right person. So what happens when there's people that get the answer right? We assign a number to each of those people's names, and then I'll have Asif or Dave or something just say, hey, number between 1 and whatever. Of course, you know, I get asked Dave and I get some, smart out Dave answers, but they're pretty funny. Yeah, so that's how we do it. And this week, the lucky winner is Mr. Anthony. Congratulations. Let's show you what you won. Let's show you what you won. You won a baked potato.
I don't have the number.
That number would be 112-5123. And since these items are as free items, they will always go to the right person now. And we did have one person swoop in and get one time, and they wouldn't return it. Well, they weren't one member of our Little Rock family and hadn't purchased before, so it was unfortunate, but you know, that can happen when you have these platforms like that. So all I can say is I know that free item went to a home that needed it the most, and I hope that the metaphysical part of the mineral specimen will help them on a better path. And that's like Miss Elisa and her lapis, you know. A lot of people, and I certainly can't say anything against the metaphysical powers of minerals anymore because I have been shown. And I told the story. If you haven't, you'll have to wait and hear it again when I tell it, how the power of quartz. And now a client came into my jewelry store and just showed me the metaphysical power of it. So, you know what? She was needing the healing properties that lapis can bring. And what did she win? She won lapis. That is way cool. All right, so now with this, it is a Morocco sugar quartz geode. But you say, well, where? Do I have to saw it in two? What do I do with this? Well, luckily, Mr. Anthony, I know, has a diamond saw. But what is the neat thing about these sugar quartz geodes? They're self-opening. They're self-opening, right? This one, it's a little bit of a puzzle piece, but I love it when they're like this because it's so fun to tease kids or adults by making them think they broke it. Because you could hand it to them like this, and then all of a sudden, oh, the end fell off. You broke my geode. Look at that. Look at that. That looks like, what is that part?
Cream inside the baked potato?
Yeah. Sour cream inside the baked potato. Or what's that little part in someone's mouth, back in the back of the mouth that makes your voice go, the uvula or something like that. That looks really wild. to be up like, look at how far back that goes. Can I take this back? You know what? Raven and I were talking about these sugar quartz geodes. You know, perfect clear quartz, SiO2, silicon dioxide, it is allochromatic. So meaning when you see amethyst, citrine, the other colors, those are only those colors because of impurities in that chemical makeup. Silicon dioxide in its natural pure form is a colorless mineral. So this is about as colorless as you can get. If this would be a diamond and you were grading it on a D to Z diamond scale, I mean, it would be in the top 3, a DEF. Look at how white that is. Okay, but wait, the fun still is here. Look at this. It opens up to even, look at where you can see even more of it. And right now I am having trivia gift envy and saying, why am I giving this away? But that's what we do here. We don't make any money. We just give it all away. Look at the back of that. Isn't that beautiful? So that's why this is a fun piece to play with. So it's what I call a puzzle geode also. And sometimes I embarrass myself by not being able to put it back together. But look at that. Look at that. Is that not the coolest thing? Because they actually crack these and they do it so well. I'm surprised the pieces don't come apart in, 20 pieces kind of thing. But look at that. Look at that. You can, well, see what the natural seems like that? You can't even tell it's been opened. Congratulations. All right, let me tuck that away and we'll be right back with the start of the show. Okay, so if you ever wondered where amethyst cutting material comes from, or even individual crystals, that's what you're seeing here. What this was is oftentimes the way they'll form, of course, we know is in a geode form, but many times they are only in plates. They don't always come out in a geode form or can be broken in the process of getting these massive different geodes out that have crystals that are large as this. So when that happens, they can either sell it as what we call a plate of amethyst, or many times what can occur is the crystals are freed from the crystals next to them. And what that will do is it leaves all these other, it's almost like a tooth. You know how you have a tooth, like, well, I may not have any teeth, but most of you do. And they go into, of course, the gum, and when you have to have a root canal and dig it all out. Well, that's what this reminds me of. And you can see that with the striations here, how this was tucked down into a cluster next to other crystals. Look at the size of this amethyst, and look at how beautiful that is. Here's the neat part, though. Look at some of the, well, this is so cool. The inclusions, let's say. Look at this pocket. Hopefully we'll be able to get in close enough to show you that, yeah, look at that. Look at that. All right, so that's a little indentation, and what you have is, that's calcite. That's calcite. Little druzy calcite crystals above. There's a shimmering little plate of calcite right there. And then as we turn this around, look at all the different irises, the little rainbows coming out of here. These are classics to look for any anhydro bubbles as well, but it takes way more time than I have to check it out for those, as you have to rotate it back and forth. Look at this. This is a calcite inclusion, an internal crystal that, if you could see the entire piece, if the amethyst was like dissolved away from around it, which it can't be, you would have a what looks like a nice crystal in there, but some backlighting, and you can check it out even more. Then look at what I discovered. Look at these. Okay, so start with that one. That's a triangular. You can see it comes above the surface, and it is in a triangular shape. But then look at this one. This one is triangular shape, and it's been dissolved away. There would have been a crystal of calcite like you see right here, but instead it's been dissolved away, and it looks like some little druzy has started to grow in its place. Really neat triangular formation. Then you can see there's another one there. Look at this. Wow. This, so see from, let me get my little pointer. So look at from the side here, when you're looking right over here, you can see how deep the crystal goes into the amethyst right here, because you can see it going down in there. And wow, a good ways. So as we turn it, you can see that that crystal is definitely not been dissolved away. It's all the way an internal crystal, and wouldn't that be beautiful to backlight? We can just give you a quick look at how fun that would be, and everything you can see additionally inside. Like, look at that crystal now, how far down it goes. Look at this other one over here and the formation of it. This is how you can easily discern phantoms. Oh, look at this. Look at this that we just found right. Sure, Shawn. No, no, I saw it. I know it's there. No, they're goethite crystals that are often found, or hematite if they're reddish color. Look at, I see a some type of formation right here. So right there is that round disc. So anyway, this crystal isn't your regular amethyst crystal. Look at how beautiful that is. What a display that would make. And the price for that beauty and all the other goodies going on with it, I am going to make it only $21. Only $21 on that one. Yep. I have some cool things you're going to get to see. Let's look at next. Item 112-5523. 112-5523. I think actually today you're going to really like the trivia test I'm going to have at the end of the show. Raven took the test and she passed it. I was proud of her, but she was insulted. I was proud of her because she said, well, what, you didn't think I'd know it? Well, so wait till you all see that. All right, what I have here, getting ready to show you, sticking with the February birthstone, which is amethyst. And of course, in olden times, it was reserved that for royalty due to the color. And then in another period of time, it was considered to ward off drunkenness. So, let me show you in another two-piece parcel I have of amethyst. Look at this. Here is another similar crystal. Okay, another similar crystal. And it has dynamic additional crystallization on the surface of it. Look at that. Look at that. And really beautiful. All right, let's see. To me, 6 sides could be, oh, look at that iris at the base. I think it's another quartz crystal, but look at that. There's a triangular shape sort of item there. Calcite. Look at this. Another one of those neat, unusual. These are calcite, and I do believe, yep, they do fluoresce. That's in the notes there I see, and that's why this one was in my collection, because it has fluorescent calcite pockets there. Look at that one. beautiful calcites in that little pocket. And then look, okay, so let's see if your eye picks up what my eye did on this. And as we look at this right here, it looked to me like there's a shade of pink to it. It's not, because this is deep enough and very opaque. Oh, look at the crystal form behind it. So to me, it looks like manganese calcite. Calcite with manganese, and without it. Dave, don't you see a little bit of a pink hint of color to that compared to like these others? I mean, it's fake, but in the world of diamonds, this would be considered a pink diamond. I mean, any shade of pink at all, they're quick to call it that. This is a unusual crystal of amethyst. It has a lot of things to examine and look at. And when we backlight it, this is when you can often bring out other critters in it. Yep, look at these spots. Those are usually going to be iron oxides, hematite, lepidocrosite, goethite. If they look like a broom straw, then they're often goethite, which I kind of see one maybe right up here. But this is when you get out your magnification, your lights, you backlight it, and you have the fun. For me, I get a little bit of enjoyment, and then I have to get it ready and sell to all of you. But over all the years, I have certainly enjoyed doing just what I'm recommending all of you to do. And get out each crystal. That's how you learn about them. Look at that one. Look at that. Piercing right in it, because the only bit you see coming to the surface is that little rise right there. But look at how that crystal extends. So that beauty, that's only one half of this collection. The other half, check this out. Look at that color. Now that is the color you expect. So this other crystal was Brazilian, right? Brazilian can be found in intense purple like what you're seeing here, but most often some of your really fine amethyst comes from Uruguay. Look at this. When it is a bluish purple, wow. And look at that. You also have violet reflections in it. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, I'm seeing some some phantoms. Look at that. Look at how intense those colors are. Look at that. All right, so I'll leave the rest of that one for you to explore. And so that beauty and this beauty, the set of two. So a set of two, what a great collection. And these are two pieces that are unique. You know, even though it's amethyst, it's like, wow, yeah, we don't have to spend a lot of money to get two really fine, unique specimens in their own right, because for both of these, the price is only, let me see, yep, I'm gonna make it something special for you. Only, well, that one was mine. That's a beaut. But let's do this. $44. Only $44 for both pieces. And that, you know, when you have the amethyst with those additional unique crystals like that, that's not something, let's say you were going to go to a gem and mineral show, rock and mineral show, and you specifically wanted to try to find an amethyst like that. Good luck, because I know how long it was before I saw them. Then I would actually have been selling off a few over the years, if you might have seen them before, because I took everything the guy had at the time. And then I've gotten to enjoy them and pass them on to you along the way. Let me show you something else you won't normally find. Item 112, 5423. 112, 5423. Let me get this little beauty unwrapped here. And this is something I decided to offer. It's considered a thumbnail specimen, and there's entire shows that only sell thumbnail specimens. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. First, let me show you the natural colors of nature. Look at the colors of nature. Untreated. Look at the purple. Look at the colors of the sphene against that purple. Wow. Of course, you can find incredible jewelry made up with both those items right here at Gem Shopping Network. All right. As Dave takes us in, take a look at this. All right, now, you can see the first word in the description is alpine. That is a designation they attribute and give to crystals that have the same habit, in other words, the same morphology as other sphenes that were found in the alpine regions of Central Europe, in the Alps, let's just say the Alps. And so they found sphene crystals with this really pointed termination, and they designated them as an alpine type variety crystal. Well, look at this. Look at that crystal. I think that would cut you in a moment, is what comes to my mind first. No, so you can see that. Look at that. Look at that one, that angular termination and how sharp. That certainly looks like a alpine mountain to me. The Matterhorn, that's what comes to mind. Look at that. So without a doubt, these get the designation of the alpine type specimen. Look at all these other mineral specimens. Let me get a pointer here that are associated with this piece. So we have lots of great condition sphenes. Then look at these. These are little but very well formed crystals of muscovite mica. Then the white that you see are very well developed, small, but you can see, and especially when you get it at home and look under higher magnification, how well formed these adularia crystals are, for where the word adularescence comes from, for being a type of feldspar with reflective chatoyant properties. Then here we go. Look at how many different minerals. Now, a lot of you, if you looked at this, might miss what I'm going to show you next. So, if I told you there were 2 more minerals that have not been mentioned so far, would you be able to pick them up as I turn this? Tell them to yourself and see if you can get the answer right. Because it actually took me a little bit, and then all of a sudden it just jumped out at me. It's like, oh, wow, there's 2 more minerals on this piece. Let me show you. A very well formed, look at this, calcite crystal right here. Right here. Look at how well formed that calcite crystal is. And then what is on the surface? That is your chlorite, or some people call it clinochlor. Chlorite right there. Dotty, look at that. Look at how well formed that crystal shape is when you get to looking at it. And then with gorgeous, almost like it was peppered out of a shaker onto the surface of that crystal. Look at back in that cavity. What an amazing, amazing thumbnail. That one might take a prize if someone wanted to. Look at that. Let me see if I can, how many different ways. Yeah, you can display this in some very attractive directions. All right, so what is there? We have listed sphene, adularia, which is the white, you know the sphene, and then we have the chlorite, which is the dusting on top of the calcite, and then all that sparkly grayish material that you see, especially under magnification. Wait till you see how well developed the muscovite crystals are. This is a stunning piece as a thumbnail, in really great shape, and the bang for the buck, titanite. It actually, sphene is actually a name that is not as well known now as, or used technically, as much as titanite for it. It's a calcium titanium silicate. And the adamantine luster, which is a diamond-like luster, which is pretty neat because faceted sphenes really have a high, beautiful dispersion. So this is a neat piece, and I'm going to offer this at a really great price. Only, probably regret that one, because I have enjoyed it and considered it one of the finest ones out of the batch. $58. Only $58 on that jewel. And when you have 5 very distinct minerals in a 1-inch area, that's a lot. And by distinct, I mean they're not like one little tiny crystal tucked under another that, you know, an electron, spectroscope was used to identify, that kind of thing. No. I'm talking about 5 minerals that are all very easy to see and define and look at their crystallography and to spot. This is one that you could take some other equipment to and see if the calcite fluoresces, and always if you have a Geiger counter. There's often rare earth elements where this material comes from. So enjoy that. You take advantage of that. It is small but mighty, as Raven would say. Look at what I'm going to show you next. 112, 5823. This is dynamic. Okay, now it's going to take me one moment to set that up and get a couple other items out of the way, so I will be right back in a moment. Look at what the boys and their new toys have been able to do. Instead of me putting a 10x magnifier in front of a specimen, with some of these new gadgets they have and lighting, we're able to show you this in a way that I was trying to describe verbally, but now you can see it visually. Look at this calcite crystal right, hold on, it's so sensitive, everything's so, right there. So there's the calcite crystal. And then look at the little greenish dusting of chlorite on top of it. So that's the one thing. Here's the other thing, and I'm going to turn this in a moment and let you see the other side. All right, look at that little rosette of muscovite mica at the tip of the tweezers there. And that's what I was trying to verbally tell you about, but now you can visually see it. Let me show you over here, because these are the pluses to this piece. There's the calcite. Look at these little groupings of the muscovite. Then look at, I said all the 5 minerals were very well defined on this piece. In other words, the green, the beautiful white adularia, you can see each of the individual crystals. Now, let me show you right here on the other side, and we'll just let this spin to it. And this is where you get to see not only the incredible scenes, but that wall of, look at that muscovite. Now you can really see it in the way I wanted to describe it. Look at the crystallization, and then look at the white adularia. Everything really well defined on this miniature. Okay, so just wanted to have to give you another look at that at a magnified view. Now, let me take you to something else, and we may want to look at it in the magnified view as well. It is item 112-5423. 112-5423. This is a, hold on one second. Hold on, that was the other item. Hang on, I got the correct item number for you. Here we go. It is 112-5823. 112-5823. Now, here we go. This is something I have enjoyed. It is small, but it is mighty. Look at this azurite. Wow. Look at the crystallization, and these crystals of azurite so far, oh my goodness, that takes my breath away. Those look like little aweens. Remember the little faceted aweens I sold? Look at, that's azurite. That is crystal clear azurite that is normally opaque. Not these crystals. Now you can see why I hung on to this, because it doesn't matter the size. Azurite in this kind of clarity is not something you come across. Now you see the dark black along there. That is goethite. And there's also cerussite, which is a lead carbonate. And we'll see if we can't find that for you as well. Let me get my pointer out. I'll get all excited. I was really, okay, here, now you're getting to see a little bit of malachite. Let's see, where's my pointer? Okay, a little bit of malachite. Look at the crystals, the striations on those crystals of azurite right there. Look at this, looks like a lava field of goethite. Now, look at the overhang. Oh, yes. Wait till we get to the other side. All right. Oh, a white crystal there. Cerussite is often in that color range. Look at the other side. Yeah, I showed you the worst side, if there is such a thing on this piece. Look at this. You have fibrous malachite crystals. You have botryoidal formation crystals. Then you have, okay, now we're going to get into, now some azurite crystals are so saturated that they can appear black. And you have some of those in here, but now look at that. Okay, you see that crystal? You see some other white crystals dotted around? That's your cerussite, which is known to come from this particular location. There's some more cerussite. Look, there we go. There we go. There's a bunch of cerussite right down in that little slot canyon right there. Look at those malachite crystals. This piece, oh wow, look at that. Look at those. I have a feeling that there's a few more minerals on this piece that could be found. Wait a second, is this the one? Now, one of my big regrets, but that's okay. Here we go. Look at all the cerussite. See these? See these embedded in that? Was the piece, the Turgite specimen from Graves Mountain that had that iridescence on it. That was so rare. And I sold it at such an inexpensive price. But, so there, okay. Now, wait a second. I can't remember if it was this piece or another piece. Look at that. That had some iridescence on it. Now, as we come out and away from this a little bit, you'll be able to see, as I put it in my hand, the relative size of it. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is in every direction. That is a, I don't know. It is something about it. It is small and mighty indeed. All right. Price on this guy, I only have $68. Only $68 on that one. And that's a gem. That is a gem. In the world of azurite, there is it goes back thousands of years, the use of it, and a lot of times, you know, it was just used as a dye, as a paint dye, as a makeup, and but it was found a use a long time ago. It's a copper carbonate, very similar in composition to malachite, but malachite often overtakes the crystal system of it and becomes a pseudomorph. So I didn't really see any of that going on, which is actually good in a way, because a lot of specimens have that in the specimen. In other words, a lot of it will be partly pseudomorphed, and some people might like it, others may not, because it looks like it is partially being eaten, which is pretty much the case. Okay, now, so many goodies here to show you. Oh, yep, this goes perfect with that item. 112-5723. 112-5723. And let's see what we have. I said last week I'd have some goodies for you. Oh, this is another award, what could be award-winning miniature. Take a look at this. It is in the realm of azurite and malachite again. Oh, ho, 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 ho. This is what you want to see when you are dealing with the higher end or better quality specimens. Look at those azurite crystals, and that is what many of them look like before they get eaten by the malachite, which so often happens. Look at the color. But wait, there's more. That's the azurite. Let's look at the malachite. Wow! Look at that. Look at that. That is an incredible example of crystallization in a fibrous form. Oh, this specimen, as I'm looking at it right now, has so many other things going with it. Okay. This is really breathtaking. All right, as I look at this, and this is always what takes me so long, because I get so involved Wow, look at that specimen. Look at that shape of that crystal right there. Look at the malachite. You can almost see it trying to exalt it. And oh, guess what? It looks like there were a couple of azurite crystals that lost the battle. Look at these. Okay, so azurite doesn't form in that crystal system that you're seeing right there. You are getting a classic, look at that, Sumed mine, a Sumed mine pseudomorph, and extra goodies. This is everything you want to see in a specimen from the Sumed mine when it comes to malachite and azurite, because it represents also pseudomorph crystals in it. Look at that. Look at that. That is... Then you've got your cerussite crystals. That is the white or the clearish white here. That is a lead carbonate. Now remember, you already have your carbonates. You got to have your carbonates because your malachite is a carbonate and so is your azurite. So you have lead carbonate, copper carbonates, and let's keep looking at this because we haven't seen it all. Underlying, I can see. Look at those crystals. I mean, they look like. Okay, I have to backlight that. That just looks like it could be faceted. Hold on. Let me see right here. Let's see. Right, if I can get to the edge of these. That one in particular. Let me use this other light. I have never actually seen, okay, a faceted, looks like I need new batteries, a faceted azurite. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's achieving some of what I wanted to see. And not that I would ever take a crystal off a specimen like this to do it, but it's, look at, there's the one I was wanting to see. That's the one. I mean, that looks like a cashmere sapphire. It's simply breathtaking. Let me get my pointer so that, look at that crystal, and then that one. Look at how well formed these are. This is a, okay, if you took a picture right of this area, this is the kind of pictures that make it on the cover of the magazines, because they have, look at that, all the natural parts of, look at this. Okay, you see these little fibrous hairs down there? That has everything you want in a specimen from the Sumed mine. The pseudomorphing, the fibrous malachite, the beautiful azurite crystals. Look at that. Look at how well formed that individual azurite is. Look at these pseudomorph crystals with other azurites. Here's one a little bit. See, a little bit being taken over. Remarkable. Look at that. Look at those crystals embedded in there. And we see it on the other screen. Wow. Just simply breathtaking. All right. Now, I will turn on the machine and let this spin a moment as I see what I wrote down for the price on this. Wow. Whew. That's a beauty. Look at that. So, if I get rid of some of this dust here. All right. I have an opportunity for you on that. There's only going to be one like that. I don't have anything else like it. If you want a really choice specimen, you know, it's funny when I look at these specimens on Mindat and the other dealers, you know, I'll go, oh wow, that's gorgeous, that's beautiful. Then what I do, I go and look at the size of the specimen because they don't give a relative. That's why I teach you about millimeters versus inches and how to know. 25.4 millimeters to an inch. That's really, really an important mark for you to be able to distinguish the to convert metric to inches. So I look at these fine specimens, even on the cover of Rock and Gem and stuff, and I'll ooh and ah, and then I'll actually look up the size of it, and it'll say 42 millimeters by 12 millimeters or something like that, which is, you know, 1.5 inches by 1/2 inch. They're small, but they're mighty and they're gorgeous. And so many specimens that you end up seeing that are really, really nice aren't these big monstrous things. Then they wouldn't be really rare and beautiful. Many times the beauty comes in a form that you can see there, 1 1/4 by 1 inch. But here's the thing, it's from the Sumed mine. The Sumed mine has closed down. It has a long history of producing some of the world's best azurites and malachites. And to have a specimen from there is getting harder and harder. And to get one like that for only $88, $88, that's even more difficult. I could look at and enjoy that piece for a long, long time. And I did. That's why when I do inventory, I'm a mess because I will get out all my equipment and I'll just gaze into it, and then I'll check it with the Geiger counter, and then I'll go in the closet with the UV light. It's just a lot of fun, and that's why I love this hobby. Okay, let me see. I just don't want to miss out on having time to show you one of the most amazing specimens, but not yet. What a tease. Okay, let's show you this. And it is item number 112-5923. 112-5923. And I am going to include a stand with this. Aren't I generous? Am I going to include a stand? Sure. Sure. All right, take a look. Take a look. This is really cool because, well, I'm going to show you for a lot of reasons. For a lot of reasons. Petrified wood. The Wyoming, very famous blue forest. 50 million year old from a pepper tree. And what happened in this particular formation was unlike the petrification of so many other localities. This area and the trees and the branches were in the back of a cove with very little water movement. And there quickly developed an algal or algae buildup around the branches of the material that had fallen into a part of the body of water with almost no turnover and not much anaerobic action. In other words, very little oxygen in the water. Algae was in there. It formed around the limb, okay? So follow me, because this is what makes this material so stunning. So you have an algae formation around the outside, which blocks any other water and other oxygen from getting to the original branch, thus keeping it from just quickly decaying. The petrification process is a cell-by-cell replacement with silica in most cases. And it's a long process. It's nothing that can be sped up. So that's why 50 million years. And I have been in New Zealand, and I've watched actually and seen trees, and it looks like they're petrified, but I wasn't going to stick my hand in the boiling hot water. But you can see that the water was so mineralized around the wood that was in it and whatnot that you can just easily over time, if they had a time-lapse camera that went millions of years, you'd be able to almost see the process of it turning into wood. All right, so with the algae formed around it, it protected the inner original branch, all right? Now, this outside, imagine to be the algae that really formed a bark-like look around it, and in some cases, it is the original bark around the tree. But what happens next is, okay, first, see this different layer? And it goes all around. When I went to the closet and put my fluorescent light on it, oh, talk about some of the most beautiful fluorescence. So Brad, I know you like fluorescence. All of this fluoresces, so it's a chalcedony. So a layer of chalcedony formed, separate and different structurally than just agate, which is the petrified wood. Here's the other really neat thing. See these areas? They glow beautifully fluorescent-wise as well. These are where a wood borer, a insect, and it would eat and create these cavities where it would, as part of its larval stage of development. And we, of course, if you cut a tree down, you can often see these in our own trees to this day, different insects that will bore into the tree. Now, let me show you on the back. This was perfect for me and why I had it in my collection for so long, a peace sign. Look at that. Nothing better for an old hippie than a peace sign piece of petrified wood. But here's the very cool aspect when you go in the closet with this one. You don't normally see it, and you wouldn't unless you put the black light on it, the UV light on it, and then right through here and right through there just lights up with fluorescence. And right over here, beautiful fluorescence. See, yeah, that's neat. That borer created a you can see it kind of goes right through there, a large habitat for itself. And that's amazing fluorescence. So this side, you can either, if you have a saw, you can slice off some other slices. You saw one of the slices. I had it in that parcel of pieces I offered for sale as a, not a wind chime, but, as, a mobile. That's right, a mobile. I always forget the name of that. All right. Or you can just put this on a flat lap and polish it as well. Look at the clarity. Look at how light passes through this edge. So the next process is what happened is, in time, this wooden branch, then it dries out because it's encased, right? It's encased in this algal cocoon, so to speak. And so the limb dries out and shrinks when it does. And when it does, it creates a gap between the limb and the exterior bark, or the exterior algal coating. that by this time is also going through the petrification process. So that's how this gap, unlike any other petrified wood pretty much in the world, is created. And then when this gap, after this limb shrinks, and it becomes a void here, that's when the silica, the chalcedony variety of the silica, made its way in and filled up that void. There's no other petrified wood like it. I'll offer it with a stand. That piece, that's a specially priced piece, and if you want it, only $58. I kid you not. Only $58. Grab it while you can. Okay, let me wrap that up in a couple other items, and then I'll be right back. All right, look at this from the four-man mine. I wonder how it got that name. If you ever wondered what something that is termed botryoidal means, you couldn't have a better example than what you're looking at right now. Botryoidal is basically it's a crystalline form that comes in those rounded globs. How more scientific can you get than the word glob? No, you'll see it often, but it always involves something like a semi-spherical or almost spherical. This is a perfect classic example of botryoidal goethite from Morocco. This is really cool. It actually naturally sits in several different positions. It is, look at the back even. You can see kind of like the stalactitic formation there on the back. It's an iron oxide, a very simple chemical formula, and it has weight to it. But let's see something here. I was going to check because just like pyrite, a lot of items that might have iron in it, you would think also would be magnetic, but that's not always the case. Let's check this out. So with my super duper magnet, this should have been, look at that, absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, there's a whole scientific reason why, and we'll get into that another day, but if you're being sold something that's goethite, you know what? I always travel with a magnet. One of those neodymium magnets can be no bigger than a green pea, and you can use that for so many identification purposes at shows. You just have to know if, let's say you're trying to be sold garnet, and as one type of garnet, because remember, there's a difference between andradite, and I've showed you that before, and some of the green garnets. So you have your magnetic ones that have iron in them, or your non-magnetic green garnets, like your savarites versus your greenish androdites. So magnet can tell you the difference. A magnet can tell you so much. So, some of these tools that you can take to field shows or, tailgate shows, and you don't always want to be rude, and, someone may be totally wrong about the way they're representing something, and you don't want to just go up and say, oh, you're representing that right. That's not the way you do that or educate someone. So having some tools and being able to verify certain things yourself is going to cause a lot less interaction, and sometimes it can lead to friction between the seller and the buyer when you're trying to make up your mind and you're doing some field testing on it. So you want the most non-invasive way possible, and a magnet is one of those ways. All right, I was able to, when I bought these a number of years ago, the guy, Khalid was his name, and he happened to be a better seller than I was a buyer at a very rare moment. And we're friends, but he didn't get me on it money-wise. I got the most amazing deal on, I don't know how many flats of this stuff I have. If you want a flat of goethite, I will fix you up. Same situation as the epidote. Yeah, it's my Moroccan dealer. So, of course, this is Moroccan, the epidote. But was I a dummy or what? I should never have sold any of that epidote, let alone 2 flats. Now I know who got them. Anthony got one, and Miss Penny, wise Miss Penny, got another one. And I want both of them back because I realized just how inexpensive I sold them for versus the value of them individually. So anyway, long story short, even longer, I have all the goethite. If you want a bunch of goethite, I will fix you up. This piece, I have it on sale right now. And on sale means $8. $8 on that one. And that has all the form and finesse that you want from a specimen, especially from the four-man mine. And remember, it's always important. You can just say from Morocco. Morocco's a big place. I've been there. I have bought in mountain towns where no one spoke English, and that was you remember? I'll tell you that story another day. But where I got slickered, oh yeah, apparently the Moroccans are having fun with me. But on those Galena geodes, oh yeah, that's why Galena and me, we go way back. I won't say any more to you than that, because I actually have the Galena geodes, and the story has to go along with the geodes. So you have to get the two together, because I'm a storyteller. My mom was always that way, and she always used her hands, and no wonder she her major was drama. And I watched my mom use her ability to just be nice and project it, and got more things just from being kind and open and listening to others. And it was amazing. I learned a lot from her. And I think the gift of gab was probably one of them. But in my natural self, I'm an introvert. You could not convince Raven for anything that I ever would be shy or an introvert. But I am. But it's only when I'm in my realm with it, which is as gems and minerals. This is where I am comfortable. This is where I've lived since the age of 11, was in this passionate hobby. And from there, yes, I can espouse and talk and preach and share and show all my emotions that rocks and minerals bring out. But put me into a social environment, and I'm the wallflower in the corner. It's not. I don't want to be there. Just get me home. All right, there you have it. Let me show you another specimen. This one is item number 17321. 17321. Now, remember the story the other day? Every time I see Kai and I think of the story I told the other day when I was so bummed out and my son was looking for something to do. We were in an apartment, and he was like 4 years old, and we decided to walk to the creek right below the apartment, which was in a very busy major area of North Atlanta. And I thought, there's no rocks or minerals around here. This is everything developed. It's all apartments. Well, there's this little tiny creek that, on the back side of the apartment that there was some holding ponds and that were fenced off. And this little creek flowed into them. And I'm talking about like, maybe a foot wide. And so we walked down there. It was shaded. It is actually a pretty little spot. And I looked down at my feet and I know that the universe and the heavens above put those crystals there so that I could find some peace of mind, because I was, going through the throes of a divorce, and sure enough, kyanite. It was kyanite. That was the mineral that was chosen by the universe to be laid before me, about 1-inch crystals. And it told me right then, it's like, wow, crystals are where you find them, and if you don't look down and never try to have that experience of finding something yourself, you never will find anything. And that was pretty exciting. I'll never forget that. So anyway, kyanite. They weren't quite as big and exciting as this specimen, but nevertheless, it was something I found from nature myself. Look at this. Look at this. This is beautiful. There's quartz intermingled around the kyanite, and some fantastic color. Some of these, look at that. You could probably, if you wanted to, extricate some of those crystals. Look at that one. That one would probably very easily come right up out of there. Just another thought. Look at that. That just naturally displays so beautifully. I have a for sale opportunity price on this guy, and which is going to make this Brazilian kyanite piece an incredible deal. Ready, set, $22. $22. That is an oh wow opportunity for certain. Now, let me just put that there for the moment. Okay. Oh, all right. This and then the other. All right, let me show you. Item number 104-2621. 104-2621. Okay. Analcime. Look at this. I can tell you that very few of you have experienced this specimen, let alone have it in your collection. This is the original label from Price Peak, Oregon, and I looked up other pieces from there, and this one is really quite nice. And this mineral belongs to the zeolite family. The zeolite family. And is kind of tricky to ever find. So let's see. We have Oregon rare collector crystal, 2.25 inches with this perky box going to come with it and the original label. Now, as we look a little closer at this, you're going to see the crystals come in actually a couple different forms. They can look like dodecahedrons, which is really neat. A type of zeolite. You're familiar with zeolites? Look at those underneath there. This is, I think it's a sodium aluminum silicate with water, as a zeolite would be. And quite unusual. You can add a new crystal to your collection because I bet you don't have one. Look at these. Look how pretty this is. This I didn't even look at and take, all the time that I do to look at it closer like I should. The word analcime stems from a Greek word, and Miss Penny, I'm sure, could pronounce it better than I would. So I guess I probably won't try to. But it's like analkimos in Greek, and we made it what we did. And it's for the Greek word that means without force. Without force. And that's because it has a very weak electrical force. You know how quartz is piezoelectric, and apparently this didn't have nearly as much as that, and hence the name. So kind of unusual. But this is a rare opportunity, especially when I'm going to sale price it and make it only $18. That is a huge opportunity for an estate item that has with my label now on it. It'll have 2 labels, which is pretty cool. Okay, what I'm going to show you next is something that you have not seen me offer. It is from one of the higher end specimens, but at a price that doesn't reflect just how beautiful this is. This is 112 6223. 112 6223. And this is literally just will take your breath away. And yeah, I'll just show it to you, then I'll cry. All right. I told you eventually I'd get to some good stuff, and we have along the way. This is at the top of the range of the really good stuff. This is Madagascar Celestine, and this is the one that I also said, could go by Celestite, but the official word for it is Celestine, but it's actually more commonly known as Celestite. It is a incredible crystalline part. The way these form are either in geodes or in little specimens, individual specimens like this. What happens with Celestine is in the removal of them. I actually zoomed in because it is from the Saklani deposit, which is the most famous celestite deposit in the world. Still producing celestite. Now, they say the deposit, there's not a particular mine, because if you look, it is spread over a parcel of land, and all you see are holes dug, some upwards of 50 feet deep, until they get to this particular layer, stratigraphic layer of soil or of ground that contain these items. They first started at the sea, at the edge of the ocean, where they had been washed out, some of them. But as they moved further inland, they had to, of course, the land rises, so they had to keep digging deeper. You look at it from above, it looks like a field of bomb craters. And boy, the amount of work that, when you look at the pictures that they go through, you can understand why so many specimens come out chipped or broken or damaged. It is very hard to get a geode out whole. It's very easy to nick or chip the specimens in the process of removing them from this very hard matrix type of material. Look at that. I mean, you can see it's just blended in with the Celestine. Now, look at these crystals. Seldom you ever see these, look how large and long that is. And then look at the clarity. Facet grade clarity. Facet grade clarity. Here's the other thing. Okay, a lot of people you get real picky about chips or nicks on their crystals. So let's look at this one. When you look at this one, you see this little place right here. You think, oh, that ship. No, it's not. Look at this raised lip. There we go. That raised lip right there. That's exactly where another crystal formed and laid there. Who knows going in what direction? Because look at this now. Here is, look at that. Here's another negative impression where another crystal laid up against there as this formed. Look at that. What I wouldn't love to have would, look how big that would cut, is enough of a specimen to cut a big faceted celestite. I have never been able to have a big piece of rough. Would I ever take a specimen like this to cut a faceted stone? No, no. Now, what does happen is some people, you know, will break off one or something, or if it's partially broken, they'll remove it. But I seldom see celestite in the market. You know why? It is so rare for it to be this clean. It will be 50% clean, but will it be clean enough to be able to cut almost flawless stones? No, no. Look at this. Look at the clarity to how many of these crystals. Look at that. Look at that. This is what makes this so very special. Now, looking at it from above, and when you look at look at this, at the way they describe the crystal formation, it is exactly like the terminations are exactly like I'm showing you. This one is. See those facets that come down and away from that? It's exactly like that. Look it down in here. Look it down in here. All the crystals, or the majority of them, look at the clarity. That is extremely rare for celestite. What a specimen. What a incredible specimen. Oh, by the way, it got its name. It's kind of probably easy to figure out. So, celestite, from the word celestial, right? Latin word was celestis, for celestial, stemming from the light blue color being associated with the skies and the heavens, you know, the celestial bodies. And that's the origin of the name. It's a soft stone, hardness 3.5, and it's allochromatic, so meaning in its pure form, and its chemical formula is SrSO4. So that's just a strontium sulfate. And it's pure colorless in its regular form. So they used to debate, and I used to hear that impurity of gold caused the blue tint. But then later, with some modern testing, I think they have drawn from that. But in the mining pits that they dig, how it forms is in this alabaster gypsum anhydrite type of calcium sulfate material, and that is dissolved away to form open cavities, because calcium sulfate, especially the calcium, easily dissolves out, leaving these cavities in the host rock. And then the celestite fills those cavities, growing crystals that you see. And so that's how it forms that material. And the world's largest geode, I'll bet if I made that a trivia question, I'll bet a lot of people would not know where that would be. a place called Put-in Bay, Ohio, in 1897, when workers were digging a well for a winery that was 40 feet above the bottom of the well, broke into a room. It was literally a crystal cave of celestine. Yes, what an unusual, it wasn't selenite. But look, think of selenite and gypsum, they're kind of related in a way because it was a gypsum alabaster type of formation that dissolved away to form the cavities that the celestine grew in. It is considered the world's largest geode in Ohio. I would have never guessed. I would have gotten that wrong. I didn't know that. But they're white, opaque crystals. They aren't of a quality like what you're seeing here. This quality only comes from one place. Price on this, it is such a rarity. I tried to look up some other pricing on it because I really didn't know. And the prices were exorbitant. For something like this, they were absolutely exorbitant. And I'm talking about, 800, 1,000, 1,200, 1,800. Really, really, really expensive. I am offering this one, and it's going to be a bargain. $288. $288, and that's something that I would will regret it even selling for that. Look at that, every crystal. When you go and study the rarity and how hard it is, and read Mindat, look at all the specimens that they have pictures of from this locality, and then remember exactly what this one looks like. Well, you can always go back and look at it again. I mean, look, we haven't even looked at crystals that are further down. Look at that. That is water clear. That would facet a huge stone on its own. And they're full of this. I'm almost regretful of the price I just made on it, but take advantage of it. If it's one of the greats of the collection I've had of these items. So yeah, don't let that get away from you if you're interested at all. Now, here is another item. Item 101-4921. 101-4921. And this is something all of you are familiar with. Chemical formula CaF2, calcium fluoride, known as fluorite. Look at this. Wow. Now that is a fluorite. Look at the colors in that. This is wonderful, wonderful greens. Let's
give me that number again.
Yes, sir. That number is 101-4921. And beautiful. Fluorite is one of the major ores for fluorine. They can extract fluorine gas, and of course we have fluorides in our toothpaste. And it was interesting when fluoride was being found and brought to the market. There's a lot of fluoride found in through the Illinois, Ohio area, and they looked at the dental health, and I'm talking about, this is 100 years ago, maybe more, and there was a group of people whose dental hygiene was way more improved and better than people from outside this geologic and geographic area. Well, what they later determined was in the water and in the wells was naturally occurring fluoride from all the water that would percolate through the fluorite deposits. And that helped bring about fluoride being added to to the public water at the time, which of course greatly improved dental hygiene across the whole country. It was that important of a discovery. Maybe my water doesn't have any fluorine. I'm having a little problem with that toothy thing going on. All right, here's a big crystallized piece of it. Look at the purple. If you took this piece and sliced it, my goodness, you could look at the colors in that. Look at the blues. That is look at that, most valuable colors. Look at the purples in that. And you can see the banding. You can see the banding. So if you actually put a base to this, look at that. Blue, that is natural blue. That is I tell you what, there'd be nothing wrong with me with doing that. If you have it, got it, bought it, take a saw to it. Get into some of that blue color. That is amazing. Look at the banding to that. So the center of this beauty, look at that. Look at the crystallization. That is what fluorite is about. Fluorite can really crystallize into some amazing formations. Let's look at the back side, and you can see, oh, look at the blue. Wow. Yeah, this is a wow. So look at the translucency and transparency to that. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. I'd have to get a hunk of that. I would facet a blue fluorite. I've faceted fluorite before. It's really soft. Of course, it's hard as a 4 on the Mohs scale. Look at the crystallization. Okay, so ready, set. I have this on a sale price that I have never offered it before at this opportunity. But look, I don't think I ever noticed all the blue in that. Look, what a pretty piece. Here we go, though. Big, look how heavy that is. Yeah, so that's in pounds. That's like almost 4 pounds. Quite the piece. It's gorgeous fluorescence. It's derived from it as well. Latin fluor, meaning to flow, because it was used as a flux in smelting ores, and it works well for that. All right, I have this sale price now, and I have dropped it. I could not replace it. $77. That is extremely low for what you're getting right there. All right, let's see. How much time do we have? We got a few minutes left. Let me see. Oh, we have lots more to do here. That is a lively piece. Oh, how about this, since we were speaking about it earlier? Let's look at item 112, 5223. 112, 5223. And I think someone is going to be able to put a new mineral on their list of minerals today. Pistacite. I am that's not what happens after you have a bad day with the boss. No, this is actually a real mineral. And this specimen of epidote, which we were talking about epidote earlier, is gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that. And that's what I said about the other epidotes that I sold. I found other minerals tucked away down in them, and you might want to look at them the same. I even think I found some zircons on one. So this is has byssolite, and let me set that right there for the moment. And the pieces. So here's how we get. Look at this. All right, I hope the camera can pick up the subtle color, because pistacite got its name from pistachios. It's a very pistachio-looking color to this material. And I think when I had this, and you can see the green intermingled with it. There's also other, you can definitely see some of the pistachio greens in here. And look at the quartz crystals in with this as well. So you can see that greenish color. And if you wet it, it actually is even more, more green. So it forms, it's very similar in its chemical formula as the epidote, but there's also, if we go in here close, byssolite, which is going to be thin acicular type of crystals, and it's related to the byssolite. It's related to like the talc and tremolite families. Look at that. And then here is a band of hematite running right through there. Here is some dendrites. You can see some dendrite material here. Then you can see how quickly it changes into the greenish pistacite. And again, named after the pistachio color. Look at the quartz crystals up here. Anyway, I have a really neat price here for you on this of only $24. $24 on that. And that's a great find for being able to add a new mineral to your collection. Okay, let's see. We have enough time to, I think, what do we like to end on? Well, let me see if I have, okay, first, we have time for two more. This is the one before the one we end on. Item number 112, 5323. Something special here. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. This is an incredible quartz crystal with beautiful, beautiful chlorite in it. Look at the chlorite. And this is, look at that, right through there. It looks like a coral reef. That is an amazing specimen. Look at the exterior formations on the outside of the crystals. This isn't one that's been all polished and cleaned up. This is the way it came out of the ground. Look at how natural that is. That looks from like another world. Beautiful crystal all the way around. What a great, great piece. Only $28. Only $28. Look at that. What a great item to add to your collection. Okay, last but not least, item number 112, 6023. What do we like to end on at times? We like to end on a zeolite. Wait till you see this zeolite. This is stunning in the zeolite world to have a mirror apophyllite. Look at this. Look at the size of those apophyllites. That's why this has been in my personal collection. That's why I have this down as a world-class specimen. You've already heard other people say how inexpensive my zeolites have been against others. When you're talking about mirror apopholites, I have never seen a specimen this large, with this large of mirror apopholites in it. I have enjoyed this. I am not really ready to let it go on, move on, but you guys are the type of family that to share things like this with you. At least I know where they go. Let's look at the other minerals. Mentioned selenite, belonging to the mica family. Those are going to be the green dots. Garnardite, another zeolite. Garnardite lines right here, lines the base of the basalt. Here's the basalt. Little bit of garnardite popping through there. On top of the garnardite, builds upon the incredible peach stilbites. And then those very white, reflective apopholites that are given, and they have to have a certain look to be able to be called mirror apopholites. Obviously, this has that certain look as it mirrors back and reflects back at you. Look at these. I first thought these might be lawman type, but I think they're just some stilbites. What a specimen. Look at that. Look at that. Look at my figure. Look at the size of that. Look at it. Self-displays tremendously, which I always like. Sometimes stands can take away from a piece. This is remarkable. Simply remarkable. I don't put world class on many items, but this one, look at that. Boom, boom, boom. In every way, deserves it. Look at that. You know, I don't know if even some of the museums have one. I think I could have easily put museum class on that. Look at that. That is a great item to end the show with. I had other things to show you, but they'll be next week. Now, opportunity on this one. That piece is one of those pieces that you're just not gonna go find another one. You know, it's really a special item. And Mumbai, one last comment about this. Mumbai is Bombay. This actually, they had quarries that were right basically outside of Mumbai. Mumbai grew to overflowing where the quarries were. Too many people were getting hurt. They had to shut down the quarries, and that's it. That was it. They had to close down the quarries. No more mining at them. No more of this kind of material coming out from those mines. This is going to be one of the last of the greatest pieces, and great is an understatement. Price on this one, I have no idea, but I know that $248 would have to be a deal. $248. I'll be right back with trivia. Okay, so trivia time. And always, you know, trying to be a little different, mixing it up a little bit. What you're going to see next in a moment are 4 items in stands. You're going to have 2 questions in regards to those items. The first question is going to be name.
Let's show the items then ask the question.
Okay.
We'll just go to the items.
We're going to show you the items.
Yeah.
And question number 1 is name the items left to right. Question number 2 is which item did not come from the sea. And there you have it worded in a better way that Asif did. Name these items from left to right. And so you can see that one.
Hold on, okay.
So that'll be the first one on the left. Here you go. The second one. Third one. And then the fourth one. And then the first question was, name the item. Second question is, which one did not come from the sea? So, that's mixing it up a little bit for you. And, you know, that's just it. The gem and mineral world and fossil world often intertwine. And you can have a gemstone that we call an organic gemstone that is totally created by organic sources. Think of the pearl, think of ammonite versus ammolite, the gem that comes from it, amber. So often the world's organic worlds overlap the mineral world, and how cool is that? So I enjoyed the show. Didn't get enough time because, well, I never do, but I offered some major pieces in today's show, and they're pieces that I have treasured for quite some time. And I'm willing to share them because I kind of like to know where they go. My son, just in case I hadn't said it in a while, as far as, you know, well, what about your son? You're going to leave him anything? Yeah. I'll leave him a flat little rock I find in the yard because he would have more fun with that rock skipping it across the lake than to have anything to do with what Pops does. The first time he got interested was when he got girlfriends, and all of a sudden I could get him a real good deal on a pendant or a Christmas present. And that's when he found Pops' job as wow, that's pretty cool. Other than that, the path I wanted him to go on wasn't the path that he was meant to go on, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And that's why I have no one to leave this massive collection to, but you're my family. You're my rock and gem and mineral family. So nothing I could ever be honored more than by all of you enjoying and helping me get a new tooth and and the moles removed and the other things that going into my 60s has brought me. Love all of you so very much. Thank you for your continued support and your kindness. Comments, you don't have to answer any trivia. You just write in whatever you think or feel. Don't forget, watch the episodes, even if it takes you time, as you have time to do it, the How It's Done episodes. They're addictive. And if you go through and watch every one of them, I promise you, you will be more educated and you'll have a better grip and understanding of how it's done than 98% of the people standing behind a jewelry counter that you will encounter in a mall or in a private store or whatnot. You guys have the knowledge, and by watching this show and watching Gem Shopping, you're only adding to that knowledge. And knowledge is a powerful tool, and especially in the world where I can sell you a gem and mineral for $1 or $2, or hundreds of thousands of dollars, or millions of dollars. So it's a realm that knowledge is a good thing. And I so appreciate your consistency in supporting this show, watching and learning, because then it just keeps me inspired to bring you cool stuff and cool trivia. I thought of that idea. I saw those items. I thought, yeah, there's a trivia question there. All right, good luck to all of you. And I can't wait for you guys to see you again next Monday. I'm on a roll. Hopefully I'll stay healthy if I can stay out of this heat. Oh, all right. Take care, all of you. And I can't wait till next Monday. Cheers.